Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, dear brothers and sisters, to Islamic Aura. Before we begin, I warmly invite you to subscribe to our channel, activate the notification bell so you never miss a spiritual reminder, and like this video. Your support spreads light, guidance, and barakah to countless souls yearning for closeness to Allah. Have you ever felt a quiet yearning within your heart, a desire for change, for guidance, for relief from the burdens of life? Allah, in His infinite mercy, has given us a key to unlock His treasures. Dhikr, the remembrance of Him. Among the countless forms of dhikr, there is one simple yet profound practice: repeating a special dhikr 100 times before sunset. This is not merely a ritual, it is a journey of the soul, a bridge between your longing heart and the mercy of your Creator. The Qur'an reminds us, "O you who have believed, remember Allah with much remembrance." Al-Ahzab 33:41. Every utterance of His name carries immense weight, drawing us closer to the divine, softening our hearts, and illuminating the darkness of our worries. It is in these moments when we pause from the noise of the world that Allah begins to respond in ways unseen. Reflect upon the hadith of our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. Whoever remembers Allah in private, Allah will remember him in private. And whoever remembers Allah in a gathering, Allah will remember him in a greater gathering. Tirmidhi. Imagine, every repetition, every whisper of dhikr is not just an echo into the air. It is a conversation with Allah Himself, a plea, a surrender, and a declaration of love. Think for a moment. What is it that you truly desire? Peace, guidance, provision, the ease of heart, or relief from a difficulty that has weighed upon you for years. Allah promises, "And when my servants ask you concerning me, indeed I am near. I respond to the invocation of the supplicant when he calls upon me." Al-Baqarah 2186. By repeating this dhikr 100 times before the sun sets, you are raising a silent prayer, a heartfelt signal to the Most Merciful that you are ready to receive His blessings. Pause, breathe, and reflect on the magnitude of this opportunity. The day is slipping away, the sunset approaches, and with it, the chance to transform your heart and your destiny through sincere remembrance. In this practice, there is more than a request. It is a deep surrender to Allah's wisdom, timing, and mercy, a trust that whatever He gives, He knows what is best for you. Now let us reflect more deeply on what happens when you sincerely engage in this dhikr 100 times before sunset. It is not just a repetition of words, it is a cleansing of the heart, a polishing of the soul. The heart, like a mirror, becomes clouded by the distractions of life, worries, regrets, and desires. But when you call upon Allah, speak His name, and surrender in remembrance, the mirror begins to shine again. The Quran tells us, "Indeed, in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest." Arad 13:28. Pause for a moment and let the meaning sink in. The heart that feels restless, anxious, or burdened can find tranquility simply through this sacred practice. Each utterance is a seed planted in the fertile soil of your soul, which Allah nourishes, transforming it into peace, hope, and certainty. Consider the story of the companion Abu Huraira, may Allah be pleased with him, who said, "I have never abandoned the remembrance of Allah, even for a moment. I found it the light of my life." The simplicity of dhikr carries profound spiritual weight. Every repetition draws you nearer to Allah, aligning your heart with His will and allowing blessings to flow into every corner of your life. Ask yourself, how often do we allow the world to dictate our hearts? How often do we forget that true power, true provision, and true guidance come from Him alone? This dhikr is a reminder, a spiritual anchor that tethers your soul to the one who holds the universe in His grasp. Repeating it before sunset is like sending a gentle call to Allah. "I am here. I am seeking you. I trust you." When practiced with sincerity, the heart begins to notice the subtle shifts. The worries that seemed overwhelming soften, decisions become clearer, and the mind opens to possibilities that were hidden in doubt and fear. The soul starts to resonate with the remembrance of Allah, and you begin to witness the divine orchestration of blessings in your life, small yet profound signs of His mercy. Take a deep breath, dear believer, and feel the weight of this moment. Each repetition is not just a dhikr, it is a transformation, an awakening, and a connection that grows stronger with every word you utter. As the sun draws closer to the horizon, remember that this practice has the power to shift the course of your day and even your destiny. Welcome once again, dear brothers and sisters. If you haven't already, please subscribe to Islamic Aura, activate the notification bell, and like this video. Your engagement helps light the path for countless souls seeking Allah's guidance and mercy. Now let us reflect on the power of repeating this dhikr 100 times before sunset. Beyond the tranquility of the heart, it holds the key to opening doors that seem firmly closed in our worldly and spiritual lives. Many of us carry worries about provision, relationships, opportunities, or challenges that feel insurmountable. Yet Allah reminds us in the Qur'an, and whoever relies upon Allah, then He is sufficient for him. At-Talaq 65:3. When you call upon Allah with this dhikr, you are not merely speaking words. You are demonstrating trust, surrender, and a recognition of His absolute power over all things. Each repetition acts as a spiritual key, gently unlocking doors of guidance and blessings that you may have thought were beyond reach. Consider the hadith where the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Whoever seeks sustenance by remembering Allah, Allah will grant him sufficiency." Ahmad. This is a profound truth. The act of remembrance is intrinsically linked to provision. It draws the mercy of Allah, clears obstacles, and illuminates paths that the mind cannot always see. Imagine the sunset approaching, the day almost over. You raise your voice or whisper softly, this dhikr 100 times. Each utterance reaches the heavens, resonating in a spiritual symphony that Allah alone orchestrates. The barriers in your life, the debts, the uncertainties, the unanswered questions begin to dissolve. Guidance becomes clearer, solutions appear, and doors of provision, ease, and opportunity swing open in ways that are beyond imagination. Reflect, too, on the story of a believer in difficulty who turns solely to dhikr and supplication. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, his hardships transformed into blessings. His heart found peace, his sustenance increased, and doors that were once closed swung open with ease. This is the mercy of Allah, responding to sincere remembrance, trust, and devotion. Pause and feel this truth in your heart. The dhikr you repeat today is more than a spiritual exercise. It is a bridge between your need and Allah's generosity. It is a declaration that you trust Him, a heartfelt plea that you seek His guidance, and a step toward experiencing the effortless flow of divine mercy in your life. Dear brothers and sisters, if you haven't yet, please take a moment to subscribe to Islamic Aura, activate the notification bell, and like this video. Your support spreads light, guidance, and barakah to hearts around the world, helping countless souls draw closer to Allah. As the sun nears the horizon, consider the profound impact this simple dhikr, repeated 100 times before sunset, has on the soul. Beyond provision and ease, it envelops the believer in a spiritual light, a divine protection that shields against harm, worry, and despair. The Quran reminds us, Allah is the protector of those who believe. He brings them out of darkness into light. Al-Baqarah 2257. Each utterance of this dhikr draws you closer to that light, illuminating the corners of your heart and life where darkness may linger. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, taught us, there is nothing heavier in the scales than good character and constant remembrance of Allah. Tirmidhi. Every repetition of this dhikr strengthens the spiritual armor around you. It becomes a shield against the whispers of shaitan, a source of clarity and confusion, and a refuge in times of fear or uncertainty. Think about the nature of light. It dispels darkness effortlessly, touches everything it reaches, and reveals the path forward. Similarly, the light of dhikr softens hardened hearts, heals wounds of the soul, and illuminates the path to Allah's mercy. When practiced consistently, especially at this sacred hour before sunset, it creates a barrier against despair, negativity, and spiritual stagnation. Reflect on the story of a believer who, in the midst of trials, embraced the power of dhikr. With each repetition, he felt a sense of peace descend upon him, anxiety retreat, and a divine clarity guide his steps. His life became a testament to the unseen protection and guidance that Allah grants to those who sincerely remember Him. Pause and feel this. The dhikr you utter is not empty words. It is a beacon. It draws the light of Allah into your heart, dispelling darkness, shielding you from harm, and opening doors of divine wisdom. It is both a refuge and a source of illumination, a gentle reminder that no matter how heavy your burdens, the light of Allah is ever near. As the day approaches its end, remember that each repetition is a step closer to safety, serenity, and divine illumination. Your heart, bathed in this light, becomes a sanctuary where Allah's mercy and protection dwell. Welcome back, dear brothers and sisters. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to Islamic Aura, activate the notification bell, and like this video. Your support spreads guidance, light, and barakah to hearts around the world, helping countless souls draw nearer to Allah. As the sun edges closer to the horizon, let us reflect on a profound truth. Dhikr is more than repetition. It is intimacy with your Lord. When you speak His name, your soul aligns with the divine presence. The Qur'an reminds us, "Call upon me, I will respond to you." Ghafir 40:60. Each repetition of this dhikr is a heartfelt call, a dialogue between your heart and the one who knows your deepest desires, fears, and hopes. Consider the subtle shift in consciousness that occurs during this practice. The mind, often distracted by worldly concerns, begins to focus inward toward the sacred. The heart, heavy with burdens or longing, opens and softens. You begin to notice the presence of Allah in small moments, the breeze that cools your face, the rhythm of your breath, the subtle ease in your chest. This is the spiritual awakening that dhikr brings, an awareness that you are never alone and that the divine is always near. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "The example of the one who remembers Allah and the one who does not remember Allah is like the living and the dead." Bukhari and Muslim. Imagine that. With every utterance of dhikr, you breathe life into your soul, awakening it to the reality of Allah's presence. Repeating it 100 times before sunset intensifies this awakening, allowing your heart to experience a closeness that words cannot fully capture. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, how often do we feel truly connected to Allah? How often do we allow ourselves to simply exist in His remembrance, free from distraction, worry, and worldly preoccupations? This practice, repeated with sincerity, becomes a sanctuary, a sacred space where your heart meets the divine, where your consciousness rises above worldly noise and rests in the certainty of Allah's love and mercy. Reflect also on the story of a companion who faced hardship but dedicated moments each day to dhikr. Slowly, he noticed a transformation. His anxieties eased, decisions became clearer, and his relationship with Allah deepened in ways he had never imagined. This is the power of remembrance. It cultivates awareness, trust, and a profound spiritual presence. Take a deep breath and let your heart feel this connection. Each repetition of this dhikr is a thread weaving your soul closer to Allah, transforming not just your moments, but the essence of your being. As the day nears its close, let us reflect on how this dhikr, repeated 100 times before sunset, serves as a pillar of faith and a source of steadfast patience. Life is filled with uncertainties, trials, and moments of doubt. Yet Allah reminds us in the Qur'an, "Indeed, Allah is with those who are patient." Al-Baqarah 2:153. When you immerse yourself in dhikr, you cultivate patience, because remembrance of Allah reminds the heart that everything unfolds according to His perfect wisdom. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "How wonderful is the affair of the believer, for his affairs are all good," and this applies to no one but the believer. If something good happens to him, he is grateful and it is good for him. If something harmful happens to him, he is patient and it is good for him. Muslim. By repeating this dhikr, your heart becomes attuned to this divine truth. Gratitude and patience grow within, and you learn to trust that every decree from Allah carries wisdom, even when it is hidden from your eyes. Think of the sunset slowly dipping below the horizon. It is a reminder that each day is fleeting, yet filled with opportunities to connect with Allah. This dhikr, uttered consistently, strengthens your spiritual resilience. It becomes a sanctuary of faith, allowing you to surrender anxieties, release the fear of the unknown, and place trust fully in Allah's timing. Consider the story of a believer who faced a prolonged trial. Every day he dedicated time to dhikr, repeating the sacred words with sincerity. Gradually his heart became firm, his worries eased, and he began to perceive the unfolding of Allah's plan in ways he had never imagined. This is the transformative power of dhikr. It reinforces faith, nurtures patience, and instills a deep trust that Allah's wisdom surpasses human understanding. Pause and reflect. When you repeat this dhikr before sunset, you are not merely performing an act of worship. You are training your heart to see beyond the immediate, to trust in the unseen, and to embrace the divine timing of every blessing. You are nurturing a faith that remains unshaken in trials and a patience that endures with hope. Take a deep breath and feel your connection to Allah strengthen. Each repetition is a thread of trust, weaving resilience, faith, and patience into the very fabric of your soul. Dear brothers and sisters, if you haven't already, take a moment to subscribe to Islamic Aura, activate the notification bell, and like this video. Your support spreads light, guidance, and barakah to hearts across the world, helping more believers draw near to Allah. Now let us reflect on a profound aspect of this dhikr, the way it draws Allah's mercy and opens doors that remain unseen to the human eye. When repeated with sincerity, this dhikr is more than a routine. It is a spiritual magnet. Allah tells us in the Qur'an, "Call upon your Lord humbly and privately. Indeed, He does not like transgressors." Al-Araf 7:55. Each utterance calls His attention, invoking forgiveness, easing burdens, and inviting blessings into your life in ways you may not immediately perceive. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Whoever constantly seeks forgiveness, Allah will make for him every difficulty easy and provide for him from sources he cannot imagine." Abu Dawood. This is the subtle miracle of sincere dhikr. It paves the way for ease where there was hardship, opens doors where there were walls, and draws mercy where there was emptiness. Reflect upon your own heart. How often do we carry regrets, burdens, or mistakes that weigh heavily upon us? This dhikr is a purification, a means to cleanse the soul and turn back to Allah with humility. Each repetition is a plea for forgiveness, an acknowledgement of our dependence on His infinite mercy. It is in these moments of remembrance that Allah opens pathways to blessings, solutions, and opportunities that the mind cannot foresee. Consider the story of a believer struggling with loss and hardship. By dedicating himself to daily dhikr, particularly before sunset, he began to notice subtle shifts. Conflicts resolved, debts eased, doors of provision opened, and his heart filled with hope. This is the mercy of Allah in motion, responding to the call of a sincere servant. Pause for a moment and feel the weight of this truth. Repeating this dhikr 100 times is more than a practice. It is an invitation to Allah's mercy, a request for forgiveness, and a call for divine intervention in every aspect of your life. Every word uttered is a seed planted in the fertile soil of your soul, which Allah nurtures, turning small acts of devotion into great spiritual and worldly rewards. Take a deep breath and envision the unseen doors opening before you, mercy descending upon your life, and your heart becoming a sanctuary for Allah's forgiveness and blessings. As the final moments of daylight approach, let us reflect on the serenity this dhikr instills in the heart and the clarity it brings to the soul. Life is often filled with chaos, noise, and uncertainty. Yet the Qur'an reminds us, those who have believed and whose hearts are assured by the remembrance of Allah, unquestionably, by the remembrance of Allah, hearts are assured. Surah 13:28. Every repetition of this dhikr is a balm for your restless heart, a gentle wave that washes away anxiety and doubt. Imagine a heart weighed down by worry, fear, or the uncertainties of life. Now picture each utterance of this dhikr as a light breeze, softly lifting the weight, allowing the heart to breathe and the mind to see clearly. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said, Shall I not tell you something by which Allah will remove your sins and raise your ranks? They said, Yes, O Messenger of Allah. He said, remembering Allah much, Muslim. Serenity and clarity come hand in hand with remembrance, and each word repeated is a step closer to inner peace and spiritual elevation. Consider also the subtle transformation in perception. When your heart is immersed in Dhikr, you begin to notice blessings previously overlooked, opportunities hidden in plain sight, and the guidance of Allah in situations that once felt confusing or overwhelming. Your spiritual vision becomes sharper, your decisions more grounded, and your trust in Allah's plan more profound. Pause and reflect. The sunset is a reminder of the fleeting nature of time. Yet in these moments of dhikr, your heart finds permanence in Allah's presence. The anxieties that clouded your mind dissolve, and clarity of vision illuminates your path forward. You begin to see the interplay of trials, mercy, and blessings in a new light, realizing that every moment is orchestrated by Allah's infinite wisdom. Take a deep breath and let your soul rest in this serenity. Each repetition of this dhikr 100 times before sunset is not just a spiritual act. It is a key to a tranquil heart, a clear mind, and a soul aligned with divine guidance. Dear brothers and sisters, before we close, I warmly remind you, subscribe to Islamic Aura, activate the notification bell, and like this video. By doing so, you help spread guidance, light, and barakah to countless souls who are longing for a deeper connection with Allah. Now reflect with me one final time. This dhikr repeated 100 times before sunset is not simply an act of remembrance, it is a journey of transformation. It is the cleansing of the heart, the illumination of the soul, the strengthening of faith, and the opening of unseen doors. Each repetition draws you nearer to Allah, weaving your spirit into His mercy, forgiveness, and guidance. The Qur'an says, "So remember me, I will remember you, and be grateful to me, and do not deny me." Al-Baqarah 2:152. Imagine for every utterance you whisper, Allah remembers you in return. What greater honor, what greater intimacy could a soul desire? The remembrance you offer before sunset is a sacred dialogue, a declaration that your heart belongs to Him. Think of the power contained in these moments. As the sun sets and the day concludes, your soul ascends in remembrance. Worries are eased, sins forgiven, blessings unlocked, and tranquility descends. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, told us, "Keep your tongue moist with the remembrance of Allah." Tirmidhi. This is not just advice, it is a lifeline. A heart that beats with dhikr never drowns in despair, for it is anchored in the mercy of the Most Merciful. Pause and envision what your life could become if you embrace this practice consistently. What anxieties would fade? What blessings would open? What transformations would unfold in your heart and destiny? Each repetition before sunset is like planting a seed in the unseen. Seeds that Allah, in His perfect wisdom, nurtures into gardens of mercy, provision, and spiritual light. Dear soul, do not let the sunset pass without immersing your heart in this dhikr. For in these sacred moments lies the key to everything you seek: peace, provision, forgiveness, love, and nearness to Allah. Remember, He is near, He responds, and He transforms. Thank you for watching this video. If this reminder touched your heart, please subscribe to Islamic Aura, like this video, and share it with your loved ones. Perhaps through you, another soul will discover the sweetness of remembering Allah and find their life transformed. May Allah bless you, grant you peace, and envelop you in His endless mercy. Wa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.